Hello everyone, and welcome back to my RP-0 playthrough, where we're playing the Race into Space mod by Sound and Fury. And we're racing against these fine people. So, the question is, can I get a capsule into orbit before Blue Diamond? And the answer to that is hopefully yes. We'll see. We did speak yesterday, and I did verify that we're both going to actually do flight tests first, because I didn't want to feel bad about not doing a flight test, but I also didn't want to lose. So also, there was an issue with this reach orbital speed and return safely to Earth contract, so I might have to manually complete it after we fly this next mission. We'll see. But it is one. This is 1.2, yes. So let's see what we got. No upgrades. That's fine. This will complete some stuff. We'll get some money. Then we'll get Saturn Fury. Yes, I saw an IRC. When I complete a milestone, make sure I sync straight away. Oh, I wonder if that... I don't think that impacted me before, but it might have. It might have impacted somebody else. I don't know. It might have impacted me. Doesn't matter. I don't think it's... we'll see. But I will remember to do that. So, how's tech going? 100 days for that. 27 days for basic construction. It's vaguely tempting to try to rush basic construction so I can use the Nagina B for the interplanetary launch, but I think I'll stick with what's tried and true. So I think we can just go ahead and warp to that and then roll it out. And it'll take a little while to roll out, probably. Yeah, it takes 1 day and 9 hours to roll out. I think I want to be able to see what's going on. Right. So, are there any other contracts we could take that would help us? No. Also no. I could take this just for the advance, but I don't want to mess around with it yet. Could take that just for the advance, but I don't want to mess around with it yet. And the Mars flyby, we're still too far from our Mars window. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road. No pilot. This will be our flight certification test. All right, let us examine our staging one more time. That's the abort tower. That's our little bitty engine. It's retros. That decouples the abort section. parachute. All right. So man, the G's at the end of that burn are going to be insane. Oh well. Hopefully our pallet can survive it. We have a ridiculous quantity of extra delta V. I think 130 is going to be about right. Well, we'll figure out the launch profile as we go. It's not like we don't have plenty of delta V. I think I'm going to do this, actually, so that we have a decent perigee. Oh, right, it's important because, right, forgot about that part, because we have to launch polar, so it's important that we have a lot of delta V. Let's go. Oh yes, and where's science? And we also need to transfer that science. Oh yeah, we really should set up the stock science transfer stuff so that we don't need to use ShipManifest to transfer science, but that's okay. "30 seconds to first stage burnout. Burnout. Separation. Upper ignition. Okay, we're going to pitch down. And we have a good light, so let's get rid of the abort tower. Oh, just missed it. Dagnabbit. Okay, now we got it. Well, this was a different thing, I guess, actually. Okay, now we have to pitch down a little bit, because we're going to let our apogee run away from us. Oh, we're not actually going to get sun-synchronous orbit, because the perigee has to be high. I forgot that part. And our eccentricity has to be non-trivial. So we're just going to get a regular orbit in the return, and we'll do something else for sun-synchronous orbit. This is not actually going to be sun-synchronous. I forgot about that part. It has to be like 300 by 600, and I don't think we have to delta V in this puppy to do that. I mean, we'll see, but I have my doubts. Up pitch. Down pitch. Level. All right, so we actually just had the delta V to make it. So jettison that. Okay, we are in orbit. We are indeed in orbit. Oh, we have no SAS. Oh, that's probably a bug in the config. This should have SAS, because otherwise it won't stop its roll. Persistent rotation needs SAS. All right, I'll fix that in RO. I think we just should blanket give it to everything with it. I don't know. Let's think about it. So that went off quite perfectly. We just had the capacity in the launch vehicle to do this. I'm glad I used this ascent profile, because otherwise our perigee wouldn't have been the right altitude. When we launch equatorial, though, we're gonna want a slightly different profile. So this had fairly high steering losses and high gravity losses from flying that slightly lofted ascent, but it's because with that shorter burn time, we needed to fly a lofted ascent to ensure correct perigee. So let's go ahead and warp until next science, which would be now. Okay, as we're traveling over South America. And going over the pole. Okay. Hey, Strato Chief, good to see you. And so many people, I can't even name how many people joined too. Cool. I'm sad that we couldn't have gotten the Sun Synchronous Orbit contract, because I forgot that it requires a 300-kilometer perigee and quite a high apogee, like 700 kilometers, I think. So I have to launch a regular probe to do that, I think. Highlands. Okay. Let's see. Where's the actual? There's the great world. Earth's desert. Wonder what we're still lacking. Are we actually lacking anything? Let's find out. Film return. Oh, none of them. Oh, but we do have this. Okay, grasslands, highlands, mountains, desert, tropic, poles, water shores. All right, we've gotten everything. We just haven't returned it yet. So let's go ahead and set up a retrofire. And we're right on top of our upper stage, which did not get classed as debris. Okay. So we're going to want to land, I think, in the South Pacific. So let's set a retro here, which should hopefully be in signal of something. What did that do to our... All right, so close to perigee. Is that going to be about... Actually, I think we want to go closer to here because we're actually going to have a fairly brutal retrofire. Yeah, okay. We can get rid of this now. $30 minutes to retrofire. Okay, 4 minutes to retrofire. Let's reorient. We are not going to try to do a lifting reentry, especially because we have that highly burnable film camera on top of us. Oh, we technically shouldn't have been doing anything here because we didn't have signal. Oh well. Okay, we should have signal right about now. Nope, still don't have signal. I guess I should have set up this burn in RemoteTech. Whatever. Okay, now we have signal. So we're a minute past due for retrofire. So let's align orbital retrograde and light them up. And I'm not even going to keep track of that. I just want to know when... Oh, we have to fix that plume. I just want to know when that perigee goes to about 0. Or maybe even negative. We want a fairly steep descent to not heat up the camera too much. The little peroxide thruster that could, or couldn't, as the case may be. It's about 1 meter per second, slightly less than 1 meter per second. It's about 3/4 meter per second, actually. Yeah. 0.8 meters per second squared. All right, what is our trajectory looking like? All right, yeah, I think we want a rapid descent. So yeah, our entry angle is just not very steep. All right, I think that's about as steep a reentry as I want. Minus 100. That should work. Let's arm the chutes here. Let's track SFEL minus. How are we doing on peroxide? We still have tons of peroxide. That's great. All right, we're stabilizing in yaw, pitch, and roll. And let's head on down to interface. Oh, son of a gun. I forgot that there are no tracking stations here, so we'll have to wait for the stuff under us to burn off. That's obnoxious. Flying high over Earth's water. Should have just decoupled it when I was done, but did not. When will I learn my lesson? Oh, for crying out loud. The parachute also did not arm. All right, you know what? Wait, why is it? What the heck is it doing? Wait, so throttle isn't actually locked with RemoteTech. That's weird. That's clearly a RemoteTech bug. All right, you know what? I am so tired of this, and I hope no one will mind. But where's? I don't remember. Yeah, because there's absolutely logically no way that the parachute would not be. All right. I'll be right back, in which I head desk. Because I thought that was arming earlier. But them's the brakes. Chicken Swag, we're going south, so we're not liable to hit Alaska. Wait, you've been bypassing RemoteTech? Okay, that's... All right. In that case, we will be right back. Oh, I misunderstood you then. Okay, well... Yeah. If RemoteTech's PID were not broken, that is very true. Yep, we're coming right back. Sorry, I misunderstood you then. I'll load that up and we'll ride it into the water and the heck with it. All right, I hope I didn't break anything too much in my rage. Let's see. RIS. Oh, whoops. We're actually here. I thought it was loading. I thought it loaded at interface. All right. Let me do that MechJeb thing then. I mean, we do technically have signal now, but I kind of hate to. Oops. I don't know why MechJeb was burning that. You know what? I'm already here. The heck with it. Hopefully nobody else will care. But I'll just go ahead and do that. I am happy to, if people are annoyed that that occurred, like pass on this first or trade Blue Diamond the money or something. I don't know. Because that was my mistake originally, and then my misunderstanding as to the rules around MechJeb stupidity. This doesn't actually materially alter my first because it was a successful test flight either way. It just means that I collect the science on this mission rather than the next mission. Because the next mission was going to be a repeat of this with somebody aboard, and we were going to get this. We're launching it with a film camera anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. It's mostly just because I was annoyed. Oh, shoot, we still have landing guidance on, that's why. Where's the close button? There's the close button. All right. Anyway, lock to SFIL minus. I'll let MechJeb reorient us. Yeah, it's also entirely not implausible that you'd have some auto-arming mechanism anyway in the parachutes. Like, you certainly should not need to be in radio contact, but I guess what that actually means is that I should have put it in an earlier stage anyway. I already put it in one earlier stage, but I should have put it like when the capsule separated from the booster, so that we don't run into this mess. Anyway. Wait, why do we have... I thought we already had a flying high over Earth's water, but we'll take another one, that's fine. Yeah, our entry angle is ridiculous. It's like 1.2 degrees. So it's actually going to be a fairly gentle descent, despite the very low perigee. All right, we're going to warp up a little bit, because this is going to take a while. It's a fairly gentle descent in that respect, but it's 600 meters per second faster than an equatorial-ish descent. So we will stress the heat shield slightly more. No, Mr. Bond. If you missed the discussion at the beginning of the episode, I did talk with the Diamond, and we're both flying test flights first, so there was no need to McFly it. "90 kilometers. We're already up to 100 pascals. Warpity, warpity, warp. Okay. Now it's taking a little bit of attitude control RCS to keep us lined up. And here come the flames. Now, no, Mr. Bond, it's interesting you say that, because had I actually put someone on board, this flight would have gone rather better. Had I actually put someone on board, then I could have triggered the parachute whenever I wanted. All right, let's spin up slightly. Oh, where's science? Okay. 8.2 Gs or so, not bad at all. Let's just verify. 8.4 Gs. All right, that was... The mod does not penalize someone directly, but we've basically agreed that it will be bad. I mean, we're not playing this for... We're not playing this necessarily for the score or penalties. We're playing this because it's cool. So it would be seriously uncool if you lost somebody in this. Oh, Sound and Fury has already added something that will penalize you for losing your astronaut. Subsonic. We are indeed in the South Pacific. Kilometers, passing the cloud layer, 5 kilometers, and drogue's going to pop. There goes the drogue. Stabilizing our descent. Yeah, you're right that the honor system isn't actually going to scale that well past, like, literally everyone playing it develops RP-0 in some way. I mean, or the mod itself. The race in space itself. So, although Saturn Fury, you have pull requests and everywhere, so that's fine. Yeah, everybody's a developer, so it's the honor system is strong with us. It does remind me that I need to add SAS to all these things, because you need to be able to stop your rotation. I think I'll just add it to everything that has module avionics. All right, we verified that the camera doesn't burn off, although we actually now really have no need to launch a camera again. Eagle 2 has no need for a camera. Senator, I think what was meant was outside our circle rather than more than 5 players. But maybe what was meant was 5 players. Yeah, you got to watch out for that case before, man. 400 meters. The unwashed masses. 150 meters. 100. 60, 50, 40. All right, we'll go back to 1x. And sploosh, we will have splashdown. There we go. Sploosh. Okay, that splooshed quite well. So we should have gotten some contract. We did. Excellent. Recover the vessel. $148.5 science. Yeah, buddy. And almost the full recovery cost. Oh, 2/3 value. Not bad. Okay. So that was a highly successful romp. Okay. Now I guess we do it again, but with someone on board. So as I said, I am vaguely tempted to take the camera off that, but it's already half built. All right, but we can unlock a whole lot of things. Highlight bug. How I've missed you. Flight control. I don't think we need advanced flight control. It just gives us better docking. Improved instrumentation. And these get unlocked. I think we already unlocked that, even though yeah. We're going to want it for Hydrolux anyway at some point. Still can't touch that. Can't get that node, can't get that node. Could get that node. Why can't we get that node? Stage combustion, general construction. Yeah, all 3 of those are... So there's something screwy with anything that depends on mature orbital rocketry. That's really weird. I think what we'll do is we'll get 2nd-gen capsules and go for an early space station. Because we don't really have any other... Oh, we do have advanced construction. I think we've already bought it, though. Yeah, we did. We can't afford that. We can't afford that. What does this have? The Saturn IU, probably? Yeah, the real Saturn IU. Oh, and an advanced 1-meter guidance unit, which provides 150 tons. All right. Yes, as soon as we get a little more science, we can get short-term HAB, and eventually this. Where are the lander cans? These are all the lander cans. Okay. Approved electrics we can't afford. All right. I don't understand what's going on there. Anyway, so we got one upgrade point out of that. For all that science, we only got one node and one upgrade point, which we immediately turn right into more science. 67 days before we can unlock all the important interplanetary stuff. Oops, I was trying to click mission control, but I think this is, yeah, this must be VV. Okay, so we could do this contract again with our. We can actually go back to the Firebug. Although I'd probably take the film camera off it so it's cheaper. And combine it and do this. How long do we have for sun synchronous? February 8th, 1953. This isn't until August. That's August. Oh, we didn't even complete that, and that's the deadline is the 5th of November. Well, it's 2 months from now. So we can just we'll do some sort of cheap thing. All right, so we'll get another one of these because they pay a lot of money. Okay. And this just has an orbit. I think that's just going to be the sun synchronous orbit one. So we'll go ahead and get it too. That'll give us a little extra money. Let's get our Firebug back up. Hey, Pap. Where is Firebug? Well, it doesn't actually need the doesn't need the film return camera anymore, that's for sure. Just needs a thermometer and a barometer. Let's go back to the small heat shield, I guess. What is in Action Group 1? Just the orbital perturbation sensor, which we already have done all of. So we need a thermometer and a barometer. Pap, I currently use a 30-inch, and at work I have a 30 and a 20 with landscape on the 30 and portrait on the 20. And that works pretty well for me. I don't like ultra-wide stuff because I like vertical. I don't even like 16 by 9. 16 by 10 I grudgingly accept. So I'm not the guy to ask about ultra-wide. All right, let's put some RCS on here. Make them hydrazine. Because of the TV, aka console master race, is why 16 by 9 is a thing. Because it's actually, my understanding is it's cheaper to make. Oh, and I need to decrease the mass of this. All right. We are statically stable here. We are not stable here. Whoo boy, are we not stable. Well, I guess we're putting the fins back on. That's tragic. Did not want to mess around with fins, but I guess we are going to need some fins. All right, let's see what that happens. What happens with that? Still wants to orient a bit off. Try that. Nope. Just doesn't want to. Pap, frankly, I kind of preferred the old 4:3 aspect ratio monitors, but for the last 10 years, it just died, but thankfully I have another one now. I used an old HP 30-inch, back from when the 30s first came out, and that's 2560 by 1600, which is why this is being streamed in 2560 by 1600. And it works quite well for me. Why is this such an obnoxious thing? I guess we need to try the stack shoot instead of this thing. See if that makes any difference. Previous size. Main chute. Drogue. Pre-deployment. 3,000. Okay. Let's see if that makes any difference. I guess it's all right, but we should probably try fins. Alright, that looks sort of silly, but that works better. That works much better. Let's just check what our... Yep, we're crossing at the right place. Everything is golden. Alright, and we're going to disable staging on this. Alright. Convention under King, yes, the X405, aka the XLR50, is a booster engine. It was used for the first stage of Vanguard. Alright. Learning from last time, we're going to arm the chute in that final stage. Now we have quite an excess of delta V, which is good because we want a sun-synchronous satellite. Mortal Morto says, is the series going to you? Yes, every episode so far has been put on YouTube. And this episode will be put on YouTube as well. All right, so we're going to try to build a see how much delta V we can get from a single stick. Where did I stick the retro? There it is. It's way up there. Okay. Now, is there avionics in this? Probably somewhere. What are, well, we'll find out what our avionics actually are. Oh, no, I need the verniers, don't I? Yes, I do. All right. One of you. And this should be 2.5. Okay, and the skirt goes back on. All right, now. Okay, that should be sufficient, I think. Tote's going to need some fins, though. Okay. Now we've finally made our Aikido. There's the frame. Or do I want that? Because it's prettier. It's also too large. I think the real, whoops, the real one's that size. All right. That will do nicely. Retros need to go up here. This needs to go up here. Those fire there. And we're going to have a slight excess of kerosene. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. All right. That's looking pretty decent for me. Boat tails do help far slightly, but due to the way the cross-sectional modeling works, they don't help as much as they should, as I understand it. All right, this is a fairly cheap launch vehicle. $93.77. Now, technically, that should be plenty, probably even for polar, because our time to orbit is quite low and our liftoff is quite fast. But I'm going to have to wait until we get the Agena B to really do this, I think. Because, so I think I'll fly another, maybe I'll fly another lunar landing. Because, well, yeah, it's just we just can't squeeze the performance we need out of this. Just can't quite make it. Oh, well, that's one thing we can do. We can get rid of the retros. That gives us 50 meters per second more. Fuselage tanks are just so heavy. It's ridiculous. All right, we can, I guess, redline this stage slightly. It's a fairly reliable thing. So we'll redline that slightly. 94.48. It'll probably only take us about 8,800 to get into orbit. Maybe slightly more. But polar, it'll be rather more than that. And we also have to save just enough to do a deorbit burn. Oh, that's right. Well, I could short fuel the heat shield, except you remember all that trouble we had in FAR? The ballast needs to be at the... We need to keep the heat shield as heavy as possible. Because, yeah, bad things will happen otherwise. Let's just check how statically stable we are in FAR. I have my doubts. Statically unstable we are. That's hilariously unstable. That's like truly hilariously unstable. We knew that. Let's try making bigger fins. And that's seriously costing us in terms of delta V, too. Oh. Why are they so thick? That's better. Let's try that. That's better. We mostly care about Mach 1, which is still pretty bad, but not as bad as it was before. And that's still, I think, enough delta V for this mission to work. So we'll gain 1 meter per second by shortening that thing. But it's probably worth it. Right. Okay. Well, even if it fails for some reason, there's nothing mission critical we're doing while we're building it. I mean, I could be building another lunar lander or something, but... All right. Pumps. Let's turn on the pumps. Okay. Actually, you know what? I think I probably want to do this on the 45s, so as to miss the fins and other such things. All right. Let's go ahead and build this. 4406. Last episode involved the lunar landing. All right, so I think we'll be able to complete the sounding rocket contract with Eagle 2 by switching to the... yes, I'm playing with RSSVE, which has scatter configs and Eve configs and everything configs. By switching to the upper stage, we'll be able to complete that. And rush building is fairly cheap at this point, so that makes a difference. All right, so everything is go for our first crewed orbital launch. So let's go. Dawn launch. All right. Congratulations, Yumila Kvostovskaya. You are going to be the first human being in space. Sorry, the first human being to orbit. I think she was... No, I think somebody else was the first human being in space. In my campaign. Technically, the first human being in space was whoever our Spark EC sent up. Okay, everything's ready for an abort if we have to abort. Right, so we're going to arm the parachutes here, going from last time, and we're ready to go. Are these pumps on? Pump enabled, true. All right. So we're going to shoot for an equatorial launch. Ish. I mean, 28 degree. We have plenty more delta V to play with, so we're going to aim for a slightly higher perigee than last time. Because we're aiming to be up here like 4 days, so a low orbit isn't quite good. Well, let's see how this goes. We'll stay with that. Engines on. Up we go. Okay, my understanding is that RO is on SCAN right now. Oh yeah, I forgot. I goofed by having the astronaut complex unlock so soon because we can't actually use the EVA yet because we can't combine first orbit with first EVA because the contract doesn't. Contract forces you to fly them on separate missions. Cap. Ah, awesome. Good luck. C++ is fun. I like C++ a lot. Why can't we crew report anyway? Oh, because we did the crew reports before. That's right. Won't gain us anything to do them again. All right, Ludmila is taking local control. Well, technically, booster avionics are controlling things. "40 seconds to booster cutoff." Objects, we don't need no thinking objects. Sound and Fury is talking about C rather than C++. And we have 5 seconds, sorry, 6, now 5 seconds to booster cutoff. Okay. And second stage is lit. Waiting 5 seconds. Okay, it seems like a good light. Let's get rid of the abort tower. I don't even want to think about how you're going to do objects in C. All right, we're probably going to have to pitch down, but that's fine. Yeah, we're going to have to pitch down. Crew report. Come on. There we are. Oh, that's right. I should have launched Polar for this because we'd get more crew reports. Like we'd get the Pole crew report. But it's fine. We'll launch Polar on the EVA mission. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say, Saturn Fury. Using function pointers. That is really very much what I thought you would say, tragically. Ferrum, the current staging setup is actually correct, believe it or not. A lot of steering losses, but that's okay. I think my pitch is pretty good. We'll level out. No. That way. Oops. That's fine. All right. Man, we had excess capacity in the booster. Amazing what not going Polar retrograde does. Yeah, so our sun synchronous will have to be like 300 by 650 or so. Anyway, let's get rid of the remains of the booster. And there's that bug again. The LR-105 blue. I don't know why. Everything's off. Let's deactivate that. Now we can start crude speed record of 7,000, 5,000, 160. All right. All right, we were going to complete the sounding rocket contract with this booster. See if it will let us. It should let us. Yeah, we just have to get above 220. There we go. Nothing nearby, so we have to Eagle 2. Come on, let me select Eagle 2. There we are. Switch to. C# is nowhere near as fast as an actually properly compiled language. So yes, C# is not going to be as fast as C or C++. Depending on how... I mean, yeah, like you could make C slow, but I mean, C# is a... I mean, it's like Java. It's not actually... It's like half compiled. I mean, like I know for Principia, Egg definitely had to use unmanaged C for the speed. If you mention under King, go by kilograms. Kilograms probably make more sense. And also, it depends on what you're doing with that upper stage. I think I had about... Yeah, Sound and Fury has the right of it. That's going to be the best way you can do that. Crude altitude record of 200 kilometers, 180 kilometers. Now let's watch our duration record. So we're in a high enough orbit that we would last for the number of days that we would need to. So let's go ahead and warp up. Do a crew report from space over gray. Come on, why won't you? Stupid cursor's in the wrong place. All right. Grassland is more common than tropics, so we're going to toss it and get this crew report and save it for later transmission. Okay. As I thought, we get grasslands again. Okay, transmit the grasslands bit. Okay. I mean, technically we could get an EVA report, but I'll save that for the next flight. Oh, it's going to stop it every time because of the EVA report. All right, you know what? Why don't we just do the EVA now? Even though I won't get the credit for it until the next mission. We'll just do the EVA to get science to shut up Science Alert. What the heck is happening? Why are we on flames? Okay, that's kind of weird. I think that is a deadly reentry issue. So I'm going to quick save here in case we blow up while doing an EVA. All right, now let's try to review this and transmit it. And hopefully it will shut up about EVA reports. Yeah, so the burning up is clearly the oxygen and pressurant that Leonov was dumping so that he could fit back in the tunnel. So it's actually historically realistic for that cloud to be coming out. But yeah. All right, I'll have to download that patch. Yep, that fixed that. So hopefully now we'll only get science alerts at appropriate times. Desert. Let's transmit that. Yes, this mod makes my life easier. It's true. Much less whack-a-mole. Our perigee velocity is fairly high, but we'll be okay. It's just water, grasslands, water, all that fun stuff. Not much reward for a 500-kilometer altitude record. Specimen Swift, that is a hilarious launch. That is truly a hilarious launch. Highlands, finally. Yeah, the EVA will be a short flight, so we'll do it polar. We'll take the film camera off because we don't really need it anymore. And we'll, although it kind of looks like an airlock, it's pretty funny. All right, pretty sure that's everything but poles. Did we get mountains? I think we got mountains. Let's check. We did not get mountains. So we'll wait until we get mountains. I mean, we technically have to wait quite some time because we're going for the duration record anyway. Why are we not going over the mountains yet? We should be going over the mountains. The Earth's moved enough that it'll be a while. Specimen Swift, momentary peak of 22 Gs on reentry. I believe that's called you no longer have a back. How are we doing on the duration record? Stay in space for 1 day. Ugh, we've been up here 2 days and we're not getting credit for the next contract? That's obnoxious. What's going on here? Where's the 2-day? Did the 2-day trip? Yes. Okay. We have 7 hours and 49 minutes for that. Okay. How is electric charge running out? Did I misbudget my electric charge? What the heck? Oh, no, the film camera doesn't take, so what is taking up electric charge then? 530 watts, and we calculated it for 3.5 days. 0.53 times 86,400 times 3.5 is 160. And we packed, how much did we pack? $140. Why did we pack 140 rather than 160? That makes no sense. I'm confused. All right, so when electric charge gets, so we want 3 hours. No, we need 2 hours. 2 times 3,600 times 0.53. So we want a little over a kilowatt hour. Yeah, so we want about 4,000 electric charge left. That is going to be our ceiling. Hopefully we'll hit the record. All right. We still don't have mountains. We'll get it on the next flight. All right. Contract. How long do we have left? Time to completion 2 hours and 10 minutes. Ugh, we're just going to miss that record, aren't we? Where are we anyway? We're near perigee. Sorry, we're near apogee. 0.53 times 2 times 60 times 60. It's 0.53 times 10 minutes, I said. 4165. Our electric charge is. All right. So how much is 300 electric charge? 400. So we have 10 minutes of electric charge after the record. So I underballed how much electric charge we would need, clearly. So Zorotier, you should always use 1.0 range modifier in RemoteTech. Realism Overhaul comes with all antennas configured correctly for everything. So, all right, 4557. We can. Our parachute is armed, so even if we run out of electric charge, like during the descent, we'll be okay. We'll stabilize ballistically. Orbital period is 1 hour and 32 minutes. We're at apogee. Cut it in half. That's 46 minutes. Okay. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Minus 40 is 36 minutes. So 1 hour and 24 minutes. That's at perigee. All right. I thought I bumped it back to 160 before building, but apparently I didn't. Well, we'll get 3 days in space. Whether we get the record or not, I don't know. We'll just get it. We'll get it the next flight if we have to. Because we'll have been 3 days, but we'll get the 1 and 2 records. Or we'll get the 1 record, not the 2 record. All right, so I want a minute. Yeah, let's go. Let's do 1 more orbit and then make the call. Okay. Electric charge is at 1544. Okay. We have an hour and a half to perigee. That's 0.8 hours. No, we have an hour and a half to complete the orbit, so we'll have to re-enter this orbit if we want to re-enter with electric charge. How are we doing on our record? 33 minutes. All right. I think this will just work. This will just work. So we want to perform a retro burn. Here. And we want the full 147, or some portion of it. Okay. And let's just verify that that is going to re-enter. What's happening? There's perigee. Yes. All right, that is definitely going to re-enter. That's so original perigee would be in 44 minutes. How much electric charge do we have? We have 1470, give or take. Three-quarters of an hour. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Right, let's orient for retrofire. Actually, I think we want to do it about here. Oh, no, we want to do it about here. Because we need to stay above 140 kilometers until we've completed that record. So I think we want to do it about here. That's in 43 minutes. How long is that? Till the maneuver, 29 minutes. How long until the contract completes? 31 minutes. We'll be above for 2 minutes. That's fine. All right, we'll go with this burn. And then I will see how much it costs to add some batteries to the thing under construction. Okay, approximately 1 minute before maneuver, we'll throttle up because it's a 3-minute burn. Whoops. Or we could just do it now. That works too. We're actually going to burn a bit under it to be sure that we lower our periapsis correctly. Because I'm not a trustful sort. 1 minute to complete the record. Where's the limb of the there's the limb of the planet. And there are some city lights below us somewhere. There were. All right, I don't trust this, so we're going to burn even more downwards and lower our periapsis even further. We can deal with a slightly hotter reentry. It'll be fine. Still won't be as hot as last time anyway, because we're going broadly equatorially. Yep, won't be anywhere near as hot as last time, and we survived last time fine. Okay, we completed duration record 2 days. Got some serious money and reputation. Okay. Now let's jettison the retro pack. And here we go. Which battery do we have left? $12 minutes. So we're probably going to run out of battery on the descent, but that should be okay. It'll be like Gordo Cooper's Mercury flight, where everything was failing by the end and he did the retro burn manually. That's 1 minute, 2 minute. Almost 4 minutes. Hopefully our reentry won't take very long. No, we're not doing an EVI report. Shut up. All right, let's align with SVL minus. Ugh. We might land on land. Heh. Oh well. We might land in Texas. We'll see. Merca. Chute is armed. MechJeb is enabled. 2 degrees entry angle, so broadly a Mercury descent, I think. Six minutes. 6 minutes of electric charge. We are not going to try to do a lifting reentry because that requires control, which we won't have in about 5 minutes. No, entry angle isn't that steep, actually. Okay, so we might just make the Gulf. Probably hit just east of Brownsville, if we make the Gulf. All right, and we got a little bit extra science, too. That's cool. Oh, I missed the crew report. Missed that again. We'll hit it again at some point. KSP is not running super fluid and lovely, but it's almost always yellow on ascent, which it didn't used to be. But yeah, this is a 980 Ti. It's a Skylake 6700. Nothing special, anything else. I don't have custom patches. I don't have custom anything. I just accepted the defaults. I'm not even overclocking the processor. I should, but I'm not. I never got around to it. Okay, well at least we have power for the flamey bits. How are we doing? Are we gonna make it to? Yeah, we're gonna land in Texas, I think. We're already down to 65 kilometers. Hey, Lou Diamond. So there was a stupidity with RemoteTech, and I misunderstood what Sound and Fury said, so quit to do it again, but he actually meant he wasn't using it to bypass that. But by the time I restarted it, A, they told me that MechJeb could get around the no signal thing, and B, it had reopened before I lost signal. So it was a bit squishy, but the only thing that mess gained me was that I wouldn't have had to do this polar, but I was going to do either this or the EVA polar. So it didn't actually make any difference, really, I would say. Yeah, we're gonna land just outside Brownsville. I think on the west side. Okay, that wasn't even that bad in reentry. Lou Diamond, what you missed was the insanity of trying to get the duration record with the electric charge that I have, which is why electric charge is about to run out. But that's okay. We got through the Bernie part of the reentry. We're now flying normally. Our parachute is armed. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to be almost subsonic by the time we run out of electricity. Okay, wow, we're actually further west than I thought. It's quite a bit further west than I thought. We didn't make it anywhere close to the shore. All right, we have now run out of electric charge. So, in fairness, I need to turn MechJeb off. So I turned MechJeb off. But we've armed the parachute, so we'll be fine. 18 kilometers up. Ludmila has sealed up her suit for remaining suit oxygen. Well, I mean, it would have been sealed up for reentry anyway. Let's close this. Close that. Let's warp on down to 4,500. Drogue out. So my first Mercury mission was basically Gordar Cooper's. Sorry, my first Mark 1 mission was basically Gordar Cooper's mission, the last Mercury mission, where literally everything was failing at the end. It was running out of electricity. It was running, like, avionics were failing. He did stuff manually. Oh, good. We're only about 700 meter elevation. That's not too bad. We'll be fine. There's no way I'm hopping out to do an EVA report. That would be insane. All right, let's hurry up. Yes, Lou Diamond now knows what day he needs to beat. It is true. Angstcon asks, why do I always fire my chutes up high? This is actually rather lower than NASA does it anyway. It's because I'm not taking chances. Totally not taking chances. We're still over a kilometer up. Gives plenty of time for the parachute to open. Plenty of time for you to slow down. Plenty of time for anything unforeseen to occur. So I took chances with that mission, but I'm not going to take chances with my parachute at least. $400 meters. 300 meters. 200 meters. 750 meters is how high we are here. Looks like. $40 meters, 30 meters, coming in at 5.7 meters per second. 6.5, and there we are. Why didn't that contract complete? Where even is the... Something's weird here. But it wasn't listed in the contract list. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. 19.5 sirens, 49. All right. So what's going on here? Where did it go? Oh, son of a gun. Oh, that's what happened. Because I updated PAP's contract pack, and this contract changed, so it got yanked from me. That's what happened. That's why it was no longer in the contract list. All right, so I think that means I got whatever the advance of the old contract was. So if I get this, I'll be getting double the advance. So let me look at the changes on there. Because I know I had this before in my set of contracts. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'll have to do, is get this and cheat away the funds and then cheat it complete. Because there's something. Pap, do you know what changed on this contract? Because it had a different prerequisite, right? Oh, right. What happened? Because now it has the orbit recovery as a prerequisite, I think, is the difference. PAP. So what happens was when you change this contract to have a requirement for whatever the requirement now is, let me actually check the PAP contracts branch. When the requirement changed, CC loaded and saw that I no longer met the requirements, which meant that it took the contract away from me. So I'm going to have to look at what the original... Why won't this tell me what... GitHub's being weird. PAP contracts. All right. Commits. Let's look at commits. Or did that actually? So I know I accepted that contract. I mean, it's in the stream that I accepted that contract. So why is it, did it get unaccepted? Human milestones. First orbit crewed. Yeah, something happened. So oh, wait a minute. Did I not actually have that? That would be interesting. First orbit crewed. Requirements. What are the requirements? First orbit uncrewed. First orbit. Oh, I may not have actually gotten the contract. I don't know. I thought I got the contract. Well, I mean, we just did it, so we'll get it and accept it, and I'll figure out why it was screwed up later. Contracts. Active. First. Complete. All right. That may have been... What? How did we fail that contract? We literally just did it, and then we accepted a new one. All right, something is really weird right now. It cost us 121,000 funds and 19 rep for failing this. I didn't cancel it. When does it say it failed? It doesn't say it failed anywhere. It's not in a list of failed contracts. Oh, that's why. Wait, this is super weird. So nothing but completed contracts in this list, but it said I failed one. And it cost me 100,000 funds. It was an unmanned reentry. It's what I did before. Let's see what's active right now. All right. So for some reason, that contract that I had active failed because I selected another uncrewed reentry because we're sending up that other Firebee, and it's now no longer in this list. So this was weird. Yeah, CC is something's weird today. Something's exceptionally weird. So I'm going to go, I'll go off screen, like edit my save and fix it all up from whatever that was, because something's really fishy. But the first thing I will do is go ahead and sync. And let's check the server as well and see what happened. Euro to day 334. Day 304. All right. So, okay. So I think we'll end the stream there. I will bop out of this and figure out what the heck was going on. It may have been, it's possible that I thought I had that contract, but I didn't actually have that contract. I thought I did. Anyway, let me bop out, and thanks everybody for watching. I will catch you soon.